I've been following the Swedish educational system for almost 50 years. Come originally from the United States, married to a Swedish Finn, so a little bit international experience with education. I often get asked questions about what I would do myself if I were the Minister of Education or if I were to start my own school. This short video, I hope is short, will try to explain a little bit of my philosophy and some questions and suggestions for anybody wanting to start a school. Take it or leave it, what it is. These are my thoughts. You don't have to agree with me, but I am very concerned about education because we see the results. Many people after 12 years in schools do not understand science. They do not understand democracy. They do not understand how to learn in the process of learning. And I find that quite remarkable and quite scary. So you have to begin with what is the purpose of school. And if we live in a democratic society, of course, we need knowledge about how society and nature works. We need knowledge about how the government works. We need the ability to read and write and compute, to create, to present, to analyze. And many of these things are covered in school systems, national curriculums. But there are new skills, as we know, that are becoming more and more important. How to know truth from fiction, how to analyze information, present information, and to be critical of information. The main issue is, what is the purpose of school? Okay, to defend democracy can be defined as one purpose. And for me personally, it is all about bringing out the brilliance in each child, bringing out their strengths and their talents, and finding a way for them to come home, to contribute the best they can to their own lives, the lives of their families, and their local society, and in the end, to the betterment of mankind on our planet. And so how do you do that? That's very ambitious. Well, we have a system that I think is failing, that many people are not graduating or going to, in Sweden, in high school, or getting out of that, or dropping out of college if they do that. And we know that more education is helpful in the job market and helpful to creating a better society if more people with more knowledge and more competence collaborate and work together. So what we have to begin with is look at some of the assumptions that the school system is built upon. And one of the great assumptions is that we need to focus on individual achievement. And that means that the kids are graded individually, they're tested individually, everything is individually based. But the world doesn't work like that. The world works collectively. It's about working together. I mean, anything you analyze, it's about working together. You can be individually very good at playing soccer or European football, as they call it here. But but everything, your team has to work, the stadium has to work, you have to work with the referees, you have to work with the media, you have to have the grass that works, or plastic grass that works, and you have to have a league that works. Everything is built upon cooperation, and while your own individual competency is important, everything needs to work together. How do we get food on the table? Well, it's, you make your own meals, but how do you get the food into the stores? Where does it come from? And it's just, everything is collaboration. And I find it remarkable that schools are so much based on individual achievement instead of collective achievement. So my vision for a school is number one, to help the children learn how to collectively cooperate in order to solve problems. And that poses an issue for how we organize schooling. And that leads to my second point, is that learning is more important than schooling. I know schools are important for the socialization of the children, and so the parents can go off to work. I mean, there's a lot of functions of the schools. Yeah, but learning is more important. And what we know from the growth of knowledge and the thousands of books that are published every day, it's impossible to keep up with what's happening and to have a library within your head of everything that you should know. And we're learning through our smartphones and through our technology that we can hunt for answers to specific questions. So the issue is learning how to learn, not learning exactly a specific amount of knowledge to be tested on. Now, of course, we all need basic knowledge, but we need to know how to learn. And we're very good at telling children and young adults, teenagers, what they need to learn, but not how they learn. And it's the how, the process, and the group collaborative work that I think a future school should work with. So how can that be organized? Well, number one, you look at the role of the teacher, who is a leader, who is an artist, to get a group to work together, and as a mentor. And I believe that we need mentorship training more than teacher training. Mentorship, teaching is a part of mentorship. So I think a core concept at a school is gathering, training each adult in the school to be a mentor, gathering in small groups at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day with their mentor, and talking about, what are you going to learn today? How are you going to learn? What have you learned today? What do you want to do tomorrow? And be asked these reflective and analytic questions daily, and to be followed up daily. I believe that the role of the teacher and the role of mentorship in teaching is crucial. And more adults working at school need training in how to do that, and how to ask reflective questions, and how to convey the learning process to the students. So one key factor is gathering the students in small groups for mentoring sessions. Another key factor is actually asking the students, which we don't do now hardly ever, what do you want to learn? And sort of my crazy idea about schooling is, asking the children what they want to learn and then let them do it. Under supervision, under your leadership, and under your mentorship, and with lots and lots of follow-ups, and follow their process, and learn from their mistakes and improve, and keep a digital library of their efforts so they can see their own progress. Much as like we do as an adults, we try to learn from our mistakes, and gather the information we need according to the jobs that we have, or according to our interests that we have. As an adult, we're able to pursue more of our own interests, but children, they have a set curriculum that other people have set for them. So if you look at the normal school day, there are very little things that the students themselves can decide over. They don't get to decide over their time. They don't have the content and the curriculum. No one asks them. They don't get to decide who their teachers are. They don't get to decide who their classmates are. They don't get to decide where to learn, what time of the day to learn things. And they have very little to say. Now, if you see that one of the goals of education is the concept of self-efficacy, that more and more children, young adults feel control over their lives, their ability to learn, their ability to grow, well, then they have to be more a part of the decision making, so that they learn how to take responsibility, learn how to lead their own lives, learn how to work with the groups, learn how to seek out new knowledge, learn how to analyze that knowledge, and learn to tell the difference between truth and fake news, which is in the air these days. So, I mean, of course, there are basics that you need to learn how to do in the basics and in the subjects, but this can be approached through a thematic way of learning, through projects and problem-based learning, and a new concept, and well, not a new concept, but a concept that's got more attention the last few years. We can call it value-aided pedagogy. In other words, you're producing information not just for yourself and not just for your grades, but something for your local community, something for other people around you. You're giving value through the knowledge you have to others, and thus creating a better functioning local society. So my vision for a school, aside from the mentoring, that there would be a lot of project work and group work and uh, multi-subject, integration of different subjects, cream around certain themes of interest. I mean, if you take a subject about, where does garbage go as a theme, and I mean, what is that involved? There's history, there's math, there's biology, there's chemistry, there's physics. Um, there's creative processes. There's all sorts of the sciences and the social studies, and everything is involved in that type of study if a child or a group is interested in pursuing that. Now, that type of project work or problem-based learning has gotten a lot of criticism. And the reason is that the kids are often left alone. They're not mentored enough. They're not followed up enough. And in some cases, the kids can take responsibility and great learning comes about. In other cases, it doesn't work at all. And so people say, well, we have to go back to the subjects and the 40-minute lessons, and we have to have control, and we have to test them, and we have to grade them and all that kind of stuff. And I can understand that. So each educational philosophy has its dilemmas. The traditional lecture type of learning has its problems too. We've all been sat in our chairs and been bored to tears. Okay, with I mean, there's an art to giving a lecture, and there's an art in engaging a group. And we've all been through the motivational, the games and the play, and we're talking about a lot about gamification, education, and technology, and that's fine. But it has to work, and there has to be control, and there has to be structure, and there has to be follow-up. And that's the problem with group work or problem-based learning or value-added learning. It's not going to happen. You need a competent teacher with leadership skills, understanding the process of learning, and able to communicate that to the students and to follow up and work at it. So um, no educational shift, no educational method works automatically. It's all hard work, and it all has to be thought through, which means that who you recruit is a teacher, and the philosophy of your teaching and how the follow-ups are organized and how the mentorship is organized are all very crucial. And this is difficult, but worth the effort. So you think of a concept where after a child is finished with school, they're not finished their learning, but they see themselves as a person who can learn. They're more aware of their talents and competencies. They're more aware of their values and what they wish to get out of life. They're more aware that they can influence their own behavior, and they're more aware that they're contributors to the local society around them, and that through knowledge and through effort and through collaboration, they can make a difference in the world. If you leave the formal school with that type of feeling, I can make a difference, I can learn, I can work with others, I can influence the world, then they will choose professions that will contribute to the betterment of the world. And that basically is my vision. Um, Yes, there is room for traditional subjects. Yes, there is room for traditional literacy and mathematics and all that. But I want to be able to learn how to learn. I want to be able to contribute to my local society. I want to feel that I'm doing something meaningful and important every day at school. And I want to feel that I'm a contributor. And when I feel I'm a contributor and my skills and my knowledge and my talents and my strengths are in use almost every day of my life, well, then I will be a constructive citizen ready to work in a democracy and ready to contribute to a better world.